winning that in a sweep, Euphoria did actually come to play. They had a lot of good demo plays as well, but it's just about keeping that rotation on point. We'll have to see.
And on top of that, Daz, just to reinforce that point, you saw Fossey being that player that could slow it down. We saw him dribble it full field and score and have multiple opportunities that he was able to do himself just by slowing down that play and going for the dribble. So we'll see if Euphoria can bring that out, or if Erased will be too much for Euphoria to handle. And Erased, again, fantastic group stage. We'll see if that continues here. Fossey getting shut down by PJ. And PJ working with Luke. But that play broken up. Bruno, touch got away from him. Sadness will tip that across. You know, he wanted to get a lighter touch there, perhaps drop down a ball for a shot opportunity.
He was trying to set really kind of the pacing too as well. You know, he's trying to get there fast, but also making sure his teammate can get a piece of it. A lot going on at one moment. Almost worked out. Just a little less power on that ball.
And you saw the demos coming out right there, and PJ barely dodged the bump attempt from, I believe it was Bruno, coming off the wall, who had already gotten one demo. So we're seeing an aggressive Euphoria attack. And that one bouncing off the ceiling, off the backboard. If Bruno played the miss, would have been a goal, but expected the defender to get hit. You see PJ getting bumped out of the way, even Luke having to dodge a bump as he pushes this ball upfield. Euphoria's bump game is really getting going.
Yeah, the bump game works for them, and it gives them chance opportunities. They just are playing a little bit too antsy. You saw Bruno go for this touch, and he's so fast that he's not actually getting a solid read. It just turns up being a whiff that's taking him out the play. He has to be able to remain at least patient, have trust in the read, because these are opportunities where Euphoria can get a goal, and that's something that they really need a good, strong start here in the series.
And even the demo on the back line for the Erased attack, seeing so much in terms of aggression from Euphoria, but will they be able to convert on offense? Now we see a trade demo. Fossey and Sadness taking each other out. Sadness pops up to PJ, who's quick, going for the double tap. The nice pass out. Luke will come in. And you saw the close angle covered by Sadness. Perhaps a scoring chance there from Erased. And Fossey didn't make contact on that ball. PJ will press this down. Does back pass it as well. Don't think the Euphoria defense was expecting that. Now Erased on the attack. The drop down. Was that the right play? Now PJ 3v1.
Oh, watch out past middle. Bruno getting a little speedy, trying to get there in time. And this has just, I mean, kicked it into a different gear, James, on both sides. I mean, I really like what I'm seeing from Erased, though. These guys are going for mid-air pass plays, and it's a little questionable, but it's a fight out here.
Yeah, it's a fight indeed. And the reason I asked, was that the right play, is because the hit to the backboard was a setup for a double tap, but then, you know, whoever that was decided to try to go for the drop-down pass. And it's always risky, because if you go for the pass, you're not going to be able to hit the player going for the double. And if that just leaves the last player back, so you have to go all in to take the shot. So Erased, will they keep taking those risks? And will Euphoria keep getting demos? We've seen so many of them. And we're approaching the final minute of gameplay still at 0.
It's been a brawl. Both teams are, you know, there's definitely been risky plays on both sides. Defense is held up, but no one's been able to punish. Fossey had the read on Luke, but could not play the 50 well enough to redirect it towards net. It's a demo, and it gives space the other way, but this offense is going to die on that back wall. Got to see a little bit more. Maybe this shot from PJ. It's looking to the right, but Fossey's there with the save.
Bruno had to go all the way out to the midfield while his teammates were running on fumes in net, taking a big chance, but so far looking like it's going to pay off. Bruno with one challenge, now another. It's popping back. PJ double tap. Pon will turn. Now he's going for a flip reset. But that's shut down. Bruno, tap high. Recovers on the wall, but Luke there first. PJ racing against Pon. Pon will put it to his own corner. Chance for Luke to center. He does, but it was too far ahead of Sadness. The net was wide open. Sadness doesn't get the read. Bruno with the chip. Now rebound up front of net. Huge opportunity for Euphoria. and they walk away empty-handed, but that was a scary moment, and it's not over yet. Pon with Bruno in the middle. The pass attempt is blocked out. Fossey racing to the corner, but can't get there in time. It touches, and we have a 0-0 overtime in game one.
And Euphoria, you can see they're locked in, especially on the cams. Looking at Fossey especially, he is ready to get on top of the ball. They had a close chance, like you said, with the play from Sadness, but a pressure and PJ shot blocked out from Pon. Euphoria are able to meet things on defense. They just have to get the accuracy going on the transition the other way, as Fossey will be needed again. What a stop.
And that pre-flip pass by PJ was exactly what was called for, and then you saw the control coming out afterwards. Erase chomping at the bit. Luke. You saw the PJ demo, the smoke screen from Sadness. He waits in the middle, off the crossbar, and out. Luke racing in, gets 50 by Bruno. Fossey towards net. No one could get back in time, and Euphoria come out on top.
Look at this. It just comes down to a 50 and Fossey pushing things forward. That's exactly what Euphoria needed. Just a good play in the midfield, a solid follow-up, and a shot on target. Sounds basic, but it was tough to do. What a game to start us off.
That was a game. You talk about back and forth, and the desk so one-sided. You even look at the results from groups, you think it's going to be one-sided, but like you said, in that true neutral series, even though it was a sweep, Euphoria played very close, and you could see the talent that they had, and especially from Fossey in that true neutral matchup. He was such a key part of the offense, and this time you're seeing Euphoria bring out that whole demolition side of their gameplay, which came out in some critical moments, slowing down the attack, opening up opportunities on the counter. And if you're a race, though, you know, you're thinking back. You had some good looks on net. You had a crossbar that could have been scored. Even the back pass from PJ, the control, that shot, also a great opportunity. And it was like watching two people, you know, in the old American Gladiators game, sitting on a tiny podium, hitting each other, and you think either one of them could fall at any time. It was that close. And Euphoria, this is a big win for them to start out the series.
It is definitely a big win. And I think that this is going to be some momentum that they're going to take and push forward towards the rest of the series. I mean, they have a blueprint in front of them, James, of success against a race. They just have to follow the plan they've mapped out.
See if any adjustments come out. Early goal from PJ. Erase gets shut out in game one. 10 seconds into game two, they strike.
Yep, they made some adjustments, James. Absolutely. I love that touch though from Sadness, right off the ceiling to PJ. And PJ with a lot of power behind it. That's how you put a race on the board. They get their first goal, and again, at a good time. You need this game to adjustments to come out. Sadness drop down. Pon, goal line save.
Opportunity for two quick goals. Erased, playing angry. Fossey taps to the corner. No boost there in the corner, so he'll have to bail out. Double commit from Luke and PJ. Also a team bump. Sadness has to buy time. Fossey with the challenge. Bruno trying to tip it towards net. The bump attempt on Luke didn't come through. But a close call. Now the dribble from Sadness. He's shut down for Bruno. Nice pop-up from Luke. Flip reset. Pulls the trigger late, but still defended well by Pon.
Got to go back to the touch from Sadness in a 1v3 and gets the perfect 50 to play that ball to just enough time for the rotation to come in. You know, double commits galore coming out from a race, but that last man defense coming up big when needed.
Bruno taking his time, looking for help. It rebounds out in the middle now. 2v1 situation. Pon, he's getting beat, but somehow recovers and covers the angle. Pon in a 2v1 clutches up for Euphoria on defense.
He got bumped into the right position, recovered, and made a challenge that would have kept and would have given a 2-goal lead to Erase. It's unbelievable, hey, but he's in the right spot at the right time.
Well, and you saw as soon as that pass made it through, Pon's trying to cover that pass angle, and the pass made it by. You think this is it. Somehow managed to come out on top. BJ, light shot to the side. Fossey saves it, and it hits off the crossbar. Now Pon gonna have to defend the play from Luke, but Luke gets bumped out. And the ball leaking back out to the midfield. Pinch from Pond goes out to the corner for Erased, who's looking for the counter. PJ off the ceiling. Will poke it down and gets the mid. Nice 50. Fosse, oh, that's a dangerous touch. Bruno, awkward ball. PJ punishes. And Euphoria has been so good on defense, but this mistouch from Fosse really cost him.
I mean, this is all PJ as well. He gets that initial challenge that throws off the defense of Euphoria. There's the panic pop, and PJ still has enough boost to get on top of it. Him alone is just such a huge threat for Euphoria's defense. And I mean, he's a problem that they need an answer for. He's shooting 2 for 5 right now, leading in shooting and scoring for Erased. And we're only halfway through this game.
And you got to watch out. We've seen Erased now a few times. Going for that ceiling pass, you've got PJ or Sadness sitting up there at the mid, and the ball gets hit to him. And a lot of times they're high on the backboard, sometimes even going off the ceiling. We saw PJ do that. But looking for those long passes so they can get the ceiling pass down in the attacking zone. Going to be a tough one to defend, but Euphoria has been able to make some defensive stops here and there, but defensive breakdown in this game cost them. We're at the 2-minute remaining mark. Fosse, again, not the best touch. Numbers advantage again. PJ with the control rebound to Sadness, and he punches it in. A runaway game for Erased.
Look at PJ spearheading this charge, says, I'll play it low. Perfect play, catches Bruno off guard. Sadness on the wing, ready to get that shot in. Erased have dismantled Euphoria's defense, 3-goal lead.
And I like that play there from PJ. He saw that Bruno was already up, already jumping, and basically did what you do in hockey. You shoot at the pads of the goalie and play the rebound to secure that goal on the numbers advantage. And again, it was Fosse with the mistouch. So 2 Fosse mistouches. They cost Euphoria in game 2. But Erased, they are picking up the pace.
This is such a good adjustment for them. This almost looks like another play. Oh, it is. As fast as they've been playing, this slow one actually rolls in.
PJ, you see here, he's got the perfect pass into the middle, and you see what PJ did was actually bring his nose up.
Yeah.
He wanted to get behind the ball and slow it down and 50 that through. He wasn't trying to power force it. He was letting the defense hit it into him. He played him.
He's got a good read on things. That's what you want to see, though. PJ stepping up. If you're a fan of Erased, he has just, again, found the answer. It's like he has the team's number. He knows when to play it slow. He knows when to force a 50, and he knows when he needs to add power to the shot. Euphoria are just guessing on what he's going to do next. And that's, again, PJ, all the cards in his hand.
Stepping up. Hat trick for PJ. A convincing game for Erased. If you were watching game 1 and you predicted Erased like the desk did, I'm sure. Oh, and we might see another one here rebound out. And again, still so much pressure. You were worried about Erased in game 1 who got shut out, but game 2, looks like a completely different team, and Euphoria starting to show cracks, but they will get one for the road. A nice shot far post, and they avoid the shutout.
They do. Sadness tries to play it up. It's a good read from Bruno. And I mean, that's top right too. He slams that one. Solid angle. Euphoria are able to at least not get shut out here, but they definitely have to go back to the drawing board because this got out of control very quickly. I mean, almost right off the kickoff. Erased were able to make those adjustments, like you said, and it's been their show this entire game.
Fosse will have to clean it up as well on defense. Can't afford to give 2 goals away like that. Who knows where the game would have went for Euphoria had they been able to avoid those. Erased taking a convincing win in game 2, so we are tied up in the series 1 apiece.
Now, you start to think, okay, Erased finally are showing their colors. What does Euphoria have in terms of response here? You see Bruno come out, but Fosse very quiet. And I think that, looking back, you saw Fosse, he was one of the main scorers, at least yesterday, I'd say, for Euphoria. But they're going to need him now, especially when you see how well Erase have been able to adapt. Looking at PJ especially, he was, again, a lot of these shots. You even see this goal right here, right off the ceiling, straight to him.
Yep.
And when you're playing like that, I mean, you have to have somebody on defense that can match that energy.
You certainly can. And you know, you just think about this game going poorly for Euphoria. That kickoff goal plus the 2 missed touches from Fossey. It was just not a clean game from Euphoria. Whereas in game 1, it was almost perfect from them. They were so well positioned, challenging Erase to every ball, and it was that close. So if that is peak Euphoria and it's that close with Erased, it's going to be an uphill battle for Euphoria. But they do have that ability. They're going to have to play perfect, though. Erased, so deadly, especially PJ. You saw the way his mind works. A lot of people looking at PJ as one of the best in the South American region, and he really showed it there with the intelligent touches. You saw him playing it off the player that had already jumped, going for the rebound. You saw him slowing down on that 50. PJ even going off the ceiling, getting a crazy touch at the midfield to keep the attack going. He really is talented.
Some of that talent is, you know, the reason why Erase, even in the top echelons of South America, Erase plays so well against them because they have minds like PJ on the field. Also, Luke, who's looking to get a read around that ball. But here we go. Already 20 seconds into this game, and Erase are right back where they left off.
And we saw Erase last game. One of the things they were trying to do to combat the demos was slow the ball down into a dribble and try to keep boost dominance. And we saw a lot less demos from Euphoria in that situation. But now a missed touch from PJ. Low boost as well, finally getting some from the mid. PJ will have to help out, but Luke's still on empty, and he's the one in net. Trying to retreat over to the corner. He did get it to Fossey. Important 50, which he loses. PJ now challenging Bruno. Euphoria looking to break out. Luke, the midfield can't stop it. Pun. Infield pass to Fossey. And you saw it roll right across net. Euphoria and Erased, they're starting out much like we saw in game 1, trading attacks, looking for that weakness.
And you know, this, when you talk about weaknesses as well, James, this kind of goes back to your previous comment about boost earlier. That's going to play a huge factor here. These guys are stealing boost left and right. Some are even prioritizing it over rotation. And for a good reason. We saw, you know, Fossey on that 50. He had no boost in the tank for at least, I want to say 10 to 15 seconds. He had to go up to make some type of 50 on the ball, at least get a piece of it, even though he had no boost, and it still didn't go his way. So boost playing a huge factor, at least in this game.
And it's a high-risk, high-reward play. That time, bad miss on the backboard. Bruno did tip the ball, preventing the upcoming shot. And Bruno, even in the True Neutral series, we saw him on the mainstream. He was able to deny a lot of shooting opportunities. Another shot opportunity denied by Bruno. Ball floating up the midfield. Luke will float it. Sadness and PJ both go. Counterattack coming out now, and you see the pass idea was there, but it was too far in front. Euphoria, they could have taken advantage of that double commit, slowed down and gone for the counter, but nothing came.
If anything, it's been a race that have been taking advantage of just positioning from Euphoria. We've seen them move a little bit upfield, a little too much, sending two guys up and no one able to get a challenge on the ball. Luke has been reading those especially well, getting some very solid 50s. Although he may not be leading in the scoring department, he's definitely been able to facilitate a lot of Euphoria's offense, have them killed over in midfield. He gets demoed and Bruno tries to crash in, but it's a double commit on offense. Pod pass to Fossey, blocked
Bruno
away.
can catch it. And Bruno can take this off the wall now. Will he pass it or will he go for the solo play? And Dazarin, in the start of this game, Erase was successfully dodging bump and demo attempts, but we're starting to see Euphoria connect on a few of them.
And that's something that we saw in their True Neutral series, where they ended up getting those bumps and they set up lanes for them to score on offense. If they keep it continuing to be successful against Erase, it could lead to a very important first goal.
On that challenge, narrowly missing. Now up in the middle, Fossey can't get the touch. Luke reading it off the backboard. It's still in front of net. Loose ball, Luke will turn. Double tap, does get it into the middle, but PJ was bumped. And Fossey would have had the clear anyway. Sadness to PJ in the middle. PJ catches it. The flick. Pon will save it. Miraculous save to deny the beautiful shot from Erased. I can't even believe it.
I mean, PJ had that one all drawn up. You can see it. Fake over one, flick over two, but Pon on defense stopped a beautiful top corner shot, and you gotta give credence to him. Euphoria is still in this game.
Pon, that was the play of the game, and it was on defense. Rarely can you say that. Bruno. Web reset. Challenged by Luke. And this one's coming down to the wire. This is a repeat of game one.
It's been a clash. And now it is, like you said, coming down to those final seconds. And what's going to be it? Is it going to be Euphoria finally getting, a successful demo? Or is it going to be PJ, who has been setting up, some fantastic solo plays? We got 10 seconds left in this game. Chance for overtime as Euphoria have one last play left. Pon on top of this ball gets bounced straight down, and I don't think anyone's going to play it. Fossey might have it on the hood. Flicked over. Pon! Pon to the top corner! And a race score 0.
The same spot he denied a goal, he put it in. Pon, top left corner at 0 seconds. Euphoria. Talk about living up to the name. That game was pure Euphoria.
I mean, Pon especially. Defense stopped the top corner shot from PJ, and then when it comes down to it, James, at 0 seconds, he does it on its own. I mean, that's great work. Now, I know we had Erase coming into this one, but Euphoria are really standing out.
And you wondered which version of Euphoria would we see, the game 1 or the game 2 Euphoria. This was almost a carbon copy of game 1 in terms of how it was playing out. You saw the demos, you saw the physicality. Even this play from there, PJ made the right call, letting the ball roll so he could put it up on his hood and go for the flick. But Pon has one of those saves where you're just like, give me a break. Give me a break. That should be going in. And then to score on the other end at 0 seconds. Pon, 3D print a trophy for him and hand it to him right there. He deserves it as soon as possible because that was back-to-back plays of the game for Pon.
The Euphoria step up. How much more do they have in the tank? Starting to look at a race now, especially. We're seeing cracks in the armor as Euphoria in the lead of the series, and the race are going to have to, we need to see more dominance from them like we saw in game 2. It was very quiet for them on DFH, but still a chance for them to, get back into this series. Unbelievable, though, how Euphoria has been playing.
Erased, yeah, they struggled dealing with the aggression, but we did see multiple chances for him. You even think on that PJ play where he slows it down and had that flick chance, that was such a good play, such a smart play from PJ, and to walk away empty-handed was just crazy.
Man, this series has just opened up. What more do these teams have in store? And we've seen it. Now you're looking at this part, which is the most important, I say, is where things are at the stalemate. Teams are fighting for possession, and we're looking at these rotations especially. We know both teams' defense has been really well, forcing a lot of creativity on offense.
But it's forced out of Euphoria immaculate defensive stops. They have to make the play. Erased is putting shots on net and getting offensive opportunity that is forcing the hand of Euphoria, but it seems like every time that they call them, Euphoria's got pocket pairs, or they're going for the royal flush, or hitting it rather. They've been so good, except for this moment. Luke on the goal line, low boost. You saw the defender in net. Pon couldn't get the save.
Pon did not respect that double at all, and he paid for it. He's sitting front post, it gets straight past him in midfield, and he can only try to save that one. Luke has that read all day long.
Kickoff. You see Pon trying to fake out Luke rather. BJ tipping it high. Bruno dropping it back down. Good turn from Pon. You see the clear attempt. PJ will take it off the side. Luke with the help. Sadness shot opportunity, going for the double. But wasn't the hit he was looking for. Still on the attack, however, erased. Want to add to this lead. Infield pass. PJ up high. Bruno will shut it down. Pon beats Luke to the ball. Bruno getting the corner boost steal as well. Low boost for Sadness. PJ trying to make the play. Will push it out to the mid. And the flip reset gets help from Sadness. PJ handling the defensive pressure well there.
You can see Sadness too on the side. He doesn't challenge his ball at all, but he takes that corner boost. I think that's going to be pretty important a little bit later because, again, we're going to see Euphoria end up having to play in a low boost situation. And how will they be able to manage that considering all the pressure Erased have been putting on them this game?
Yeah, Erased. They're really pulling everything out, but the demo from Fosse, you see Sadness trading the demo, looking for a bump. It's his own teammate. Oh. You rarely see that. And another bump comes out.
Oh, they're going to score off this. Bruno shot. Sadness is able to get the save off the goal line. Pon will clear away the danger. That was way too close.
That was way too close indeed, and it was all stemming from that team bump. Euphoria not able to make the most of that, but Erased, when they found themselves in that awkward position, still remain composed. DJ with the block out. Fosse on the 50. Sadness to the side. Luke looking for a chance to come in, but it bounces back to Bruno, who clears it long. Luke now.
Wow. That was a good read. He took a very interesting angle on that. More demos coming out. And Erased are totally okay with getting these demos as long as, they can hold off on defense and not bump themselves. It looks as if they can maintain the 1-goal lead, but you see Bruno, that physical play coming out from Euphoria, they're trying to force a hole in this defense.
Shot right towards net. Sadness will boom it from midfield. Everyone was low on boost, even coming off a bit of a team bump there. But Sadness saw that window and struck.
Yeah, he saw the opportunity. You saw Fosse playing a little bit up to the side, and next thing you know, Sadness sees that positioning, says, okay, I'll test that defense, and boy, did they fail. 2-goal lead, 30 seconds left, and Erased, they're always able to respond when it comes to Euphoria setting the tone.
But this was not a comfortable win if they can hold on. Not comfortable at all for Erased. They were getting bumped around, even running into each other a few times. But still, the defense holding up.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and that should have been a goal, Fosse. Wonder if he was low on boost. What happened in that situation? That could have been a chance to get one. And Erased will hold on in the final seconds. Not a comfortable win, but a win indeed. And Erased will tie up the series yet again.
So, like you said, it's a response from them, but not a comfortable one by any stretch of the margin. You see Erased and that physical play. Again, this comes through on both sides of the field, where Euphoria was sending a lot of bumps, and you saw Erased try to respond with that, but they were seeing red at some point and just going for anybody. And then you saw that team play almost turn into a goal, or the team bump, I should say. Erased looking a little uncomfortable, but they managed to slide away with it. And they're here tied up now, James, but I am a little concerned about them moving forward.
Yeah, and you have a right to be concerned. You think that Erased, just looking at the group play performances and how well the teams have been performing lately, you think Erased is going to come in here and this is going to be a lock for him, but it has been far from that. Really, the only game we saw that was one-sided was that game 2, where Erased was able to score right out of the gate, and there was the struggle on defense from Fosse, but we've seen a completely different Euphoria team there, hanging with Erased every step of the way. The bumps working out, the demos working out, but they're still trying to find out how to break that last line of defense to actually score. And you see Pon going backwards, flicking it, and no one saw that coming, not even me.
Disgusting. I can't believe it. How does he even have a dodge there? Unbelievable. He has this one under his sleeve, pulls it out.
This was gorgeous, and you can tell, you know, he's going up. He's trying to fake Luke out like he's either going to get under the ball to go for an air dribble or go for perhaps a late flick with his nose. But then, oh, Luke will respond. I wanted to keep talking about that last goal, but Luke getting back on the board for erased, and you see Bruno couldn't 50 that through.
Yeah, Bruno, uncomfortable spot. It's a really good erase. Get that goal right back, because I'm telling you, a goal like that sparks a lot of life in a team. An erase, able to nullify the momentum for now. Euphoria, those, again, I like what they're seeing here. These guys have been trading left and right in terms of games, but this could be Erase's chance to actually take the series lead, force that match point.
And what a shot that was. Going up, masking what his intentions were. It was so much creativity,
so
and you
good.
love to see that, the imagination out of the South American region with these players. And Bruno manifesting another goal, and Euphoria is back out in the lead.
And I like this too. Bruno's paying attention to Fossey. Fossey's letting him know, I don't have this. So Bruno comes up. It's a secret shot. Everyone's watching Fossey to see what's he going to do with the flip reset, but they don't see Bruno. Again, another hidden shot coming out for Euphoria, and it pays off.
And important that shot went low as well. The defender coming high, you go low. Erased. See Luke low on boost, running on small pads. Fossey with a good challenge. Luke went all the way to the attacking corner to get boost. Now we'll be able to go for the ball.
Maybe that works out.
Yeah. Smart play to go under. PJ. Got that boost steal, but then gets in the way. Sadness bounces it off his face. And Luke will put it up. Sadness back pass to PJ. Off the sidewall. We'll get another touch, but Fossey beats Sadness, who's out. Luke, with an important challenge, will keep it at the midfield pond. Light first touch will allow him to go for the second. Infield pass was too far away. Fossey didn't want to commit. Now Luke, can he get the read? No, neither could Fossey. You saw Luke, if he gets that difficult read, maybe a scoring chance.
Oh, I like that double from Fossey. That's going to give Euphoria a lot of space. It's that extra time that's really going to be big here. They can read the play from Erase, and boom, they can react, just like you see with the bump there, making it hard, but not hard enough.
No.
Sadness almost got away with it.
There was no time to spare there. Fossey wanted to slow it down, but Sadness had other plans. Luke can't get it by Bruno. Across the field to Fossey. Fossey back to Bruno, but it was too high. Infield pass again. Fossey, crossbar, rebound to Bruno. Bruno, he's gonna get an insurance goal. Now 3-1, Euphoria extend the lead.
We haven't seen this Euphoria all major. They are coming out and they are dismantling the defense. Erase have to keep their heads on a swivel to figure out what Euphoria are gonna do next. They're sitting comfortably a 2-goal lead in the half.
Fossey dropping it down. Luke racing in to break up the play. And you see those infield passes. Euphoria, they have been fearless and they are playing at a high speed, but so is Erase. They're not out of it yet. PJ will blast one in, and now the lead is cut to 1.
PJ reminds you who exactly he is. You do not want to give him a free shot. Punishes the lack of a backboard defense.
Yeah, you saw bunched up in the corner. Fossey, Pon, everyone really was in that corner quadrant. No one had that covered. Opportunity now. Fossey awkward on the backboard. Bad touch as well. Bruno will save the day. Pon up against Luke. Luke will win out. Sadness can't beat Fossey to the ball. And it's a bouncing clear down. PJ going for the solo. Gets skipped off to the side. Now again, floating up in the midfield. Luke towards net. Fossey will deny it off the crossbar. And Euphoria, they've been getting help from the crossbar today on defense.
And at this point, the crossbar might as well be the 4th player. The way this has been looking for them. Erase, gotta get that shot a little bit lower. They don't get this many opportunities, and they also have to keep an eye on that clock as well.
Luke, you see PJ also stuck in that corner, but grabbing tons of boost. This will be an opportunity for Erase to get a counter if they can get control, and they do. Sadness down to Luke. Luke off the post, and Sadness had an angle covered, but it wasn't the right one. Now a demo from Fossey, opening up a shot for Bruno, but it's saved.
Oh, Fossey trying to play that down. Is this a chance? Where is the follow-up? Bruno finally comes through late. Pond follow-up. Is it in? No! Straight to Luke. He gets to save a chance to extend the lead for Euphoria.
No way.
And now the transition.
Oh,
it's open!
Luke got bumped at 0 boost into that saving position, and then that flick. A huge flick. Bruno racing back, couldn't get there. Luke pulling one out of the hat.
Oh, man, this is too important of a situation for Euphoria to let this one go. They've had control all game long, James, and it comes down to it in the final 30 seconds. Erase are able to tie it up.
This is such an important game. You can tell already with how tight these two are. Maybe this is that one that will put a team over the top. Out in front of net, Fossey can't get there. Does bump PJ, open net for Bruno. 12 seconds left. He takes advantage of this bump and puts it in.
I love this. Fossey does not go for the ball at all. Forces the bump off PJ. Sets up a brief moment for Bruno, who executes. Big time goal for Euphoria.
The aggression has been invaluable. Euphoria not afraid to get in a fight. A few teeth missing from Erased. Last chance, the chip from PJ, no one there, and Euphoria will hold on. You thought for a second Erased was pulling off the comeback, but it just wasn't going to happen, especially when you got these bump plays, Pond with the crazy flick, Bruno with the hat trick, Euphoria pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, this is now a race in a scary situation. They're going to have to win the next two. And for a team that had such a good group stage coming into this, and such high praise from the desk, including myself, you know, this is shocking. This is absolutely shocking to see. And Euphoria, though, they are just honestly that aggressiveness and the priority to go for the demos has been paying off much better than I think any of us would have expected.
Oh, I love the fearlessness. You know, in South America, if there's a cliche saying that I would use to describe the region, it's high risk, high reward. I mean, you even see it when they're going all the way downfield to pick up the attacking corner boost while their teammates are playing defense. They're going for it all. They're leaving it all on the field. And then also, you see the crazy plays, that flick from Pond, the creativity, the willingness to play outside the box, think outside the box. And it has resulted in a thriller of a series.
It has, and now Euphoria, you know, who are ready to kind of get things going in terms of just, you know, that pace of play. They're in a match point situation, and I think that's something that's, you know, very interesting here to see. Like, a race are going to have to adapt to that, and we get to see them with their backs against the wall.
And we've seen Erased at times figure out how to cope with the aggression, but it's been an ebb and a flow where they've been able to avoid bumps in demos, but then at the same time, we saw in this last game, in the most important moment of the game, that bump, not being able to dodge it, getting taken out of the play, that opened the door for Bruno, who blasted it in. So we will see how this game unfolds. This is tournament life for Erased, which I did not think we would be saying. As you and Leaf, I think both had Erased going to the finals, and they could fall here in the first round.
It's actually unbelievable to see, especially with how well Erased looked in that group stage. Like I said, I mean, even taking a win against Furia, Erased just seemed like, okay, they have everything going for them. They have their game plan. Things were nailed down. But what ends up happening here is Euphoria come out, and it's a little bit shaky or tense at the start. Erased, though, the game 2 adjustment was one of the more better ones. You think, okay, now they've woken up. Now they're back in it. But when it gets to games 3 and games 4, you really start to see Euphoria try to figure out, okay, we need to do something to stop Erased in terms of this momentum. What that ended up being was just constant demos and bump plays. And at that point, Erased, they didn't know what to expect. You even saw that shot from Pond to open things up in that game. That was out of nowhere.
It's inspired Rocket League coming out of Euphoria. They are playing exactly how they needed to be in the situation that they're in. Really, only one bad game, and that was game 2. Every other game, it has been tight. Both teams playing each other so closely. And now Erased, their tournament life on the line. One of the favorites of the event. Multiple analysts putting them through to the finals. A team that went undefeated in groups could drop to Euphoria, who narrowly avoided last place in their group, but still showed their chops. And they're doing it again here, the most important time of the event.
They are playing with a purpose. That is for sure. In a race, they're going to need to dig deep, because the way Euphoria has been playing, it's just honestly not the best to play against. You talk about a team that's constantly going after you. You got to figure out what to do. Look at that! Almost a goal! Pond removing the defense himself.
Pond faking out the flip reset, instead going for the air bump. And it came close. The grit and determination from Euphoria. They are hunting and hungry for this upset.
Like that drop down that we just saw from, I think, Bruno. As Bruno, especially looking at him yesterday, did not really get to see too much in the offensive department. Looked a little shaky, but now you're seeing a lot of confidence come out in some of these touches from him. And he's been able to, honestly, spearhead some of these plays that we've seen from Euphoria. He's looking for another one. Almost got a piece of that, but it will get cleared out.
Oh, and that net was open. You see the attack from Erased off the post and in. Sadness, and we got to take another look at this. Who was streaking in to get the hit?
Let's see, it was Bruno coming in, but Sadness, I
didn't see him.
He just sped through, and you blink and you miss him. But then you also miss the ball rolling in your net. Erased set the tone.
Yeah, and you see Bruno actually slowing down. It must have been a blind spot moment, because he had the boost and the position to get there in time, and that's where comms are so important. Bruno, when he doesn't have vision like that on ball cam, if he's not taking it off to check, you hope a teammate's there to cover for you, but not doing. Erased will hop out to an early lead. And it would be fitting, Dazarin, to send this one to Game 7 with how tight every one of these games has been.
It's looking like it may come down to that, especially with Luke. He has all the time in the world, and he doesn't waste it.
And he freezes Bruno in net. You see Bruno actually hopping off the sidewall there. Luke saw his opportunity. He had vision of all 3 players in front of him. He saw that Bruno was struggling. Luke, very smart play. Race now, the 2-goal lead, approaching the halfway point, looking to be in control. This is another defensive mishap game for Euphoria. Letting in a pair of goals that in these previous games they've been able to keep out. Erased. In Game 7, you'll wonder who will have the advantage, Daz.
First off, Erased, they can't get too comfortable here. There's still a lot of time left on that clock, and we've seen the goal runs. This Pond looking to play at 4, but that's a double commit on offense. Fossey with a nothing touch. He's going to go to the corner, and he's going to give up possession. So for Euphoria, they have to use these next couple of minutes to try to figure out their play style, especially if it does force into a Game 7. Because then they're going to need everything in order to make sure they stop Erased, who, honestly, they seem to have a solid plan. It's working. No way. It's almost in. Sadness tries to 50 it out, but it falls into that corner.
Erased. Don't want to take any chances. They're not comfortable with 2. And I wouldn't be either. Skip shot. Luke will deny it. PJ upfield wants to waste as much time as possible. The dunk. Sadness dunked this ball so hard.
Man, Bruno, I'm sorry, but he read him like a book. Perfect pinch in and 3 goals up now. Erase are dominating in this game.
And Bruno has been in, really in the center stage of each one of those defensive plays where they've broken down. So we've seen Fossey and Bruno now struggle defensively in a pair of games. Erased has been clean, and Sadness, brief window. And more time melting off the clock. If it is possible that Euphoria gets back in this game, they've got to score right now.
This has to be that drive, but it doesn't seem like their offense is really there here, James. Not a lot of shots as well. It's been really hard for them to honestly even set shots up. Looking at a race, they've been able to meet the ball well, but the clears out is really the big thing, because Euphoria can't keep playing that quick offensive pace because of the challenges in the midfield. Even now, Fossey, he's racing to that one. He's always playing from behind as a race have led the charge towards the ball.
And you see the misread there from Fossey. It was a difficult read. And we are going to prepare ourselves, Daz, for Game 7. Erased. Give them credit. It has not been easy for them, but they never bowed out. Euphoria as well. It has been so entertaining. I don't think we expected this one to go the distance.
No, we didn't. We knew it wasn't going to be a clean sweep, but we definitely did not expect this to go all the way. And like you said, both teams have to prepare for it. We're going to Champions Field next and seeing how Erased start playing. Euphoria is the one coming into this one from behind, even though they were the one to put this on match point. This has just been a constant mental battle on the field, as it's been boost trades, demo trades, who has the ball, who doesn't. I mean, it's going to come down to a thrilling conclusion.
It really is. And you just think about the games that Erased won. They were doing it with just rock solid offense. Their defense hasn't really been letting them down too much. Really what's happened is Euphoria has made holes in the defense with their bumps, with their demos. We haven't seen a lot of misreads and a lot of mistakes out of Erased. We've seen Euphoria bringing that aggression downfield and making those opportunities happen. But at the same time, the games that Euphoria has dropped, they have had defensive breakdown situations where they could have made the play if they played it well, and they were not able to do so. So now it's all coming down to this Game 7. You've got to be perfect.
How many more tricks does Euphoria have in the bag? Can Erased play that consistent game that we know they have in them? All those questions answered soon. But right now, PJ trying to start things off. It's Fossey who will come up. Erased already on offense.
Luke, plenty of boost. PJ will help. Pon will clear to the corner, and a demo from Bruno. So we are seeing aggression early. Fossey, past Sadness. Does it have enough speed? It does! Fossey dribbling it downfield, taking it past Sadness. This was a huge solo play.
The lead charge from Fossey moving downfield. We needed him to spearhead the offense for Euphoria, and he does just that. They're on the right track with an early lead.
And we pointed out Fossey early on. He is that one player from Euphoria that's got that full field solo play potential. What a time for it to come out in Game 7. PJ towards that. Fossey will deflect it wide. Bruno with a nice read will push it down. Backboard read from Sadness does come out. Pon at the midfield. Will put it across. Luke, will he slow it down? No, he puts it right back to Sadness. Give and go. Fossey, it went underneath him. PJ gonna race to it. He's got Luke. Also Sadness in the middle, but Sadness, it was too far away from him. But the attack gearing up. Pon, light hit downfield. Luke will pop it. Bruno racing Sadness and does win it. Bruno hitting it down to the corner, but it's boomed upfield. Sadness will get denied by Fossey. Boom ball right now, Daz. And you wonder who that benefits.
Right now, it's looking like it's benefiting Erase. You're starting to see these pass plays that they're having in transition. Although there's not a solid touch from that man up, they are getting it through. And that's going to be the biggest factor. As long as they play the ball correctly and not throw away possession, one of these pass plays is bound to go in. But again, you said it earlier, James, this is a high-risk, high-reward series.
Fossey will tap it up to Pon. Luke, great block. Couldn't get the backward read, but the dunk comes out. PJ never giving up on the play. And that wasn't the prettiest of goals, but Erased will take it.
I mean, he doesn't give Fossey a chance to react. PJ just keeps going. So does Erased on offense. And we're all tied up.
And that was another situation where Fossey, probably sitting on ball cam, didn't notice that player charging in. Double demo. What a way this game's going, Daz.
It's getting tense. Both these teams making extreme efforts to try to push through. Off-ball bumps happening, off-ball demos as well. Luke last minute, he's getting bullied, but he still's going to be able to get this 50 chance in front, but no time for follow-up there from Euphoria. It's going to get knocked away from them. Erase are going to have their chance downfield, and I'm telling you, it comes down, honestly, to who can get these right executions on transition.
Oh, Fossey does it again! The lead blocker clears a path, and Fossey, he's got ice in his veins. He says, I did this all weekend. No reason I can't do it in Game 7.
And you saw it as soon as it got on Fossey's hood. Bruno led the charge. We've been seeing the bump plays all series. There it was again. What a lead for Euphoria, but can they hold on to it?
Chance for PJ, but Pon will tip it under him. PJ back pass to Sadness. Hard hit up. Bruno denying the backboard, a demo by Pon, but the shot still comes out. Off the post, back to Sadness, and Erase tie it right back up.
Look at the speed on this shot. PJ opens up a lane. Sadness cleans it up. Erase say, if you can't push past you, we'll just outplay you. Pure speed on that goal.
2-2, 2 minutes left. Will we see overtime? Luke back to his own corner. Hard hit from Sadness. Fossey too far away to catch it on the dribble. Went for the pass up, but now Boone's back downfield. Pon. Again, Bruno looking to lead block. Erased. Picking up some momentum out of their own half. PJ. You see Bruno. Awkward ball at the midfield for both teams. On that extra hit gives a chance for Sadness, but the shot was weak. PJ off the side. Luke with a demo. Fossey downfield. Will bounce back out. Bruno sends it across the middle. A high pop. Double tap ball potentially, but Sadness getting shut down by Pon.
They're still trying.
Yeah, even with all this at stake, Daz, you still see these players not hesitating whatsoever.
No, there's no time. There's no room for hesitation, James. Not in a Game 7. Not with the major life on the line. There's too much to play for. They have to keep going. And that's exactly what we've seen out of both teams here on the field. No one letting up.
Looking for Bruno. Bruno doesn't make contact. Rebound out to Pon and gets deflected high. Fossey towards net. Luke jumped early and now a shot. Bruno will save it, but the rebound's out. Bruno put it right back in front of PJ. A breakdown.
Bruno saw the speed. He thought he could get it to the side, but he's moving just too fast. Got caught out. PJ with the punish, and that might be the goal that does it. There's still time on the clock.
And the panic from Bruno. Didn't want to take the risk of catching it in a dribble. Wanted to play it safe, but it was far from safe. That hit, that was worst case scenario for Euphoria. Now finding themselves trailing. Bruno looking to make amends, but loses out on that 50. Sadness off to the side.
Oh.
Going for net, Bruno. A light hit again, gives it up in front of net, and again, Erase will score.
Man, Bruno being put in a tough spot. He tries to fake it out, but no control, pops it up, and Luke is there. It's as if he knew exactly what Bruno was gonna do. And Erase may have just sealed it. It was a close series, James, but Erase had it in the end.
And you wondered what would happen. Would Euphoria pull this out? Or would the defensive mistakes come back to bite him? And in the final moments, we saw those mistakes come out. Erased will hammer on, and it was a hard victory for them. Euphoria, even though those defensive mistakes came out, you have to credit them for the game they played. They're coming in against Erase, who went 4-0 in the groups, a team people are expecting to go deep in the playoff portion of this event, and Euphoria forcing it all the way to Game 7. Heroic plays, and Bruno, while he did make those defensive mistakes on defense, you have to look at the offensive plays he made, even that lead blocking play with Fossey to give Euphoria hope in this game. But man, this was a fun series to watch, Daz. It had it all.
Yeah, it did. You know, like you said, even though Euphoria cracked at the end, they really did show that they had a strong fighting chance. They had a couple of chances for them to actually close this series out. But we had Erase, you know, as our favorite team for a reason. They didn't let us down. That consistent play came out, and they're able to take this one.
What a series that was. Heartbreak for Euphoria. But you know, if you're an Erased fan, you're happy, but you're also a little worried. They have been shown themselves to be vulnerable.